Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Juan, Carlito, Mendoza, and before I answer your Drumeo questions, let's actually give you a quick drum lesson. Alright, so this is a simple hand exercise that you can use as a warm-up. So in the first measure, we have this rhythm. In the second measure, we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to do it off the left hand. So we have... Okay, so the first and second measure together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Alright, in the third measure, we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to do a little fill-in. So now we're going to play a paradiddle, but we're going to play it in the same rate. So it's going to sound like this. The next measure is the same thing off the left hand. Alright, so let's hear those two measures together. So we have this, 3 and 4 and... Alright, so in the next two measures, we're going to play paradiddles, but we're going to play them in sextuplets. So it's going to sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Alright, and the last two measures, we're going to play a inverted paradiddle, but we're going to accent the first and fourth note of each grouping. So it's going to sound like this. 3, 4... Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'll play the paradiddles in sextuplets, and then I'll play the inverted paradiddles in sextuplets as well. Alright, so it'll sound like this. 3, 4. Alright, so now let's play the whole exercise, and let's play with a metronome. Alright, so I hope you dug that exercise. Don't forget to take it slowly. Don't forget to play with a metronome and take your time. Alright, it's time to answer Drumeo questions. Alright, so I got a lot of questions on the whole Drumeo experience. So I won't be answering every question because there was too many, but I'll just highlight the ones that I feel are important and ones that I guess the public wants to know. So here we go. How do you get ready for a big thing like Drumeo? Was it hard for you? For me, I prepared for the Drumeo thing kind of like anything else. Like I had a set amount of time to deliver the information. The most difficult part for me was that I had a lot of other things going on at the same time. So I was playing a lot of gigs and I was doing a lot of teaching. And then on top of that, I had to write a lot of material for the Drumeo site. So there was like a bunch of courses that I had to write. There was some quick tip stuff that I had to record, some pad exercises, some stuff for their social media, etc., etc. So that's what took a long time to do, was probably write everything down and then be able to play everything that I wrote down perfectly, and being able to try to record this stuff in one take. So that's the hardest part about the whole Drumeo experience. Next question. What was your shedding schedule like while preparing for Drumeo? So essentially, I would wake up in the morning, drop off my daughter at the babysitter. Then I would practice the whole morning all the way up to about 5 p.m.-ish or so. So I was writing stuff for Drumeo, and on top of that, I was learning the material that I was playing. I just wanted to make sure that everything sounded great and that I knew it and I knew how to explain it. So I was doing that, and then at nighttime I was playing a gig from like 7 o'clock to about 11 o'clock at night, and then I would come home and then I would probably write down or rewrite certain things that I didn't like, or I would like look back at the videos that I recorded throughout the day to see what was working and what wasn't working. So it was like an all-day affair, to be honest with you. It was pretty extensive, but I think the hiccup was that I had to play gigs in between, so there was always something going on. So that was the hardest part of the whole day. All right, so that's kind of how the schedule went and that kind of went on for about a good 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, where I was just doing that. But before that, I was practicing like the actual the performance tracks. So yeah, that's how long I was practicing. My question to you is, out of all the great t-shirts you own, why did you choose the Rolling Stones, especially for the Drumeo session? I have a lot of cool t-shirts. I just happen to have the Rolling Stones shirt, man, and I really dug it. I love the design. I love their logo, the brand. And I just felt like it was something that was gonna be unexpected, so I just wore it. You know what I mean? And I just got a brand new hat too, which it went perfectly with the hat, and that's really the reason. I mean, the Stones are awesome to begin with, so for me it was just more of like it matched my hat, and I like the Stones. Next question. Honestly, what was your cymbal setup for Drumeo? Those cymbals were absolutely fantastic. What I'll do is, instead of me trying to explain it to you, I'm gonna post a picture right now, and then I'll post what everything was. Next question. What day will it be and what time, please? I'm assuming you're asking when will this be available on YouTube. I don't know yet, probably within a month or two. I know they record it and then they start editing things out a little bit, and then they actually start inserting graphics. So it might take about a month or two, but it's definitely gonna come out on YouTube if you didn't catch it live. How's the attitude of Drumeo towards bringing new ideas and things to students? Well, remember, I was only there for 2 days, but with my interactions with Dave and Jared and the whole staff, they're really all about drum education and just education in general and bringing quality stuff to the drum community. So for me, I think, man, those guys are super professional, and they're really just always trying to think the next step. So Drumeo's dope, man. I mean, it's really that simple. Where can I find the song you were playing? So the songs are going to be available on the Drumeo Edge website. So I think you got to join Drumeo in order to get access to it. And also, Damani Rose's track is available on his app called Drum Tracks, which you definitely want to check out. What was the name of the play-alongs you used for the lesson? So the first one I played was a René Gonzalez track called Nada es Imposible. And that's a newer version, which I think came out maybe like 7 years ago or so, and it's off of the original track that was probably like 15 years old. So that's that one. The second one was called Odd Movements, and that one was by Damani Rose, and that track is crazy. And yeah, those are the 2 tracks I played for the lesson. Next question. Were you nervous? How do you deal with it? Great job as always. God bless. I was nervous because I knew my friends were watching. I knew my wife was watching, and I knew my daughter was watching. So I was nervous about that. I wasn't nervous because I wasn't prepared. It wasn't even that. It was just more like I was just nervous because I knew a lot of drummers were gonna be watching, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So I wasn't too nervous because I was prepared and I had all the material learned. But the only thing I was nervous about was trying to get through the 11 methods within the half hour they gave me. And it was pretty cool that we actually did make it through. What was your initial thought when you first arrived to Drumeo? Man, first of all, when I arrived to Vancouver was beautiful. It was nice, and it was chilly compared to where I was, because we had like a heat wave for like 2 weeks, or like 2 or 3 weeks. So everything was like plus 90 degrees over here. And when I went to Drumeo, it was like 70-ish. Plus they had a nice little breeze. So first of all, Vancouver is gorgeous. When I got to the Drumeo headquarters, they gave me a tour of everything, and it's just an incredible facility. They have nice offices. The people that work there were amazing. On top of that, obviously the equipment in there is amazing and all high-end stuff. There was a bunch of Sony, like I think it was AX7s for the mirrorless cameras, and then Earthworks drum mics, and I mean anything imaginable they pretty much had. They have a really cool office in there that's pretty cool. That I mean, I'm talking about the break room. The break room actually has a ping pong table, and they actually like compete in there, and it's like hardcore, man. Like, they don't play around. So they like shove their lunch in their mouths, and like they don't even chew, and then they go play ping pong for the half hour. But Drumeo in itself was just incredible. I mean, the facility, the people behind it, the everything it's just an incredible place. If you ever get a chance to go out there, I definitely highly recommend it. Alright, so let me tell you how this whole thing kind of came about. So about 4 years ago, I met Jared Folk at NAMM, and we talked about getting myself out there at Drumeo, which is in Vancouver. And so I was like, cool, let's make it happen, etc., etc. We traded emails, and for some reason our schedules just didn't lock up. So fast forward until earlier this past year, I was invited to perform at Casey Cooper's 2 million subscriber launch and his studio launch. So anyways, Jared Folk was out there. We chatted it up for a while. We had a good time, and he said, we got to get you out here this year. Let's make it happen. Anyways, so our schedules lined up. I was supposed to come out to Vancouver, I think July 15th, like the middle of July. However, a couple weeks before that, Dave Atkinson hit me up and told me that they're gonna have to push my date up because there was like a VIP week happening, which is essentially a drum camp for all the Drumeo members out there. So anyways, so I had some more time to get things ready, and I had back and forth meetings with Dave, because Dave is the one who really runs Drumeo, so, which is Dave Atkinson. So back and forth, me and Dave Atkinson had some meetings, Skype meetings about possible topics, what my strengths were, what I wanted to feature, what Drumeo needed from me, what Drumeo needed on their website, etc., etc. So the cool thing is, like, we went back and forth and we changed a bunch of ideas, exchanged a bunch of ideas, and we finally came out with a couple courses. So the deal was with Drumeo was we had to film 2 courses. Both of those courses were about 9 videos each. Then on top of that, you had to film some stuff for their social media. So that was about 4 or 5 videos or so. Do some quick tips, and the live lesson. So all in all, it was about, in the 2 days that I was there, I filmed about 25 videos or so. On top of that, and a podcast, which was a surprise because Jared Folk was just like, hey, let's just do a podcast. So it was cool. So we did 25 videos or so, and a podcast and a live lesson. So that's the amount of work that was going into it. I was a little nervous because it was so much material to learn and a lot of material to actually present. You know what I mean? So that, to me, that was the hardest part about the whole Drumeo thing was like, if I wasn't prepared, like, I probably would have tanked, especially on my live lesson and on the other stuff too, because I didn't want to waste film. I didn't want to waste people's time. Especially like Drumeo, they start work at 8 and they finish at 4. Like by 4 o'clock, everyone's done. I would say like 3:45ish, everyone's starting to shut down. So you don't want to waste time. So that was the biggest challenge for me, was we got to get all this material done, and we got to make it effortless, and it's got to sound great, and I got to make sure that I'm saying the right things. So that's kind of what happened. So we did the live lesson the first day. We also did live performances the first day. Then the second day we filmed all the courses, and then we also filmed all the quick tips and all that good stuff. So I'm kind of giving you the abbreviated version because I don't want this video to be super long, but just know, like, if you do ever get invited to do any of these things or be part of any sort of production, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared before you get there. When you get there, it's just really about just performing everything that you prepared in the practice room, in your garage, or whatever, wherever you practice. So my biggest tip for anybody is, if you're gonna do something, make sure you do it right, make sure you take your time, and more importantly, make sure that you know the material and believe in it. Because if not, it's not gonna translate into the camera, it's not gonna translate into the audience. So all in all, my experience at Drumeo was incredible. They're great people, it's a great company, they have great vision. They're actually doing a festival now, which is really rad, and it's cool because I found out about that while I was out there before anybody did. So it was really nice. I'm looking forward to hopefully coming back out there. I got some other things in the works with them, and we'll see what happens. But my Drumeo experience in general was incredible. I had a great time. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody. And one more thing before I leave, I just want to tell you a quick story. So I get into my hotel room. First day I traveled, like 6 hours or so. Anyways, I get to the hotel. They hooked me up, man. The fridge was stocked with water and nice little gifts. And this is how high class they are, or a high class organization. When I get there, all I see is like these 2 little drums that they got for my daughter, and they didn't have to do that. And my daughter absolutely loves these things. She's always playing on them. So I just want to say thank you to everybody at Drumeo for the gift. I appreciate it, and my daughter is just ecstatic over it. So that pretty much tells you what kind of company Drumeo is. So I hope you enjoyed my my little story here. I was gonna vlog it, but I had no time. There was no time. It was just work. So yeah, that kind of gives you an insight. If you have any more questions, just go to the comments below, ask your question, and I guarantee I'll get back to you. I'll see you next time.